everyone. Welcome to Bloomingdale's On Screen. I'm Ariel Saboni, the fashion director for Ready to Wear here at Bloomingdale's. And today I'm joined by Anthony Thomas Melillo, the founder and designer of ATM Collection. And we're coming to you live from his gorgeous kitchen in Miami. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming, joining me with my family, Max and Lance, for this cooking extravaganza. I hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks for having us.
Of course, we're so happy to have you. So tell us what you're making for us today.
Okay, so today it's pretty simple. I'm making kind of a very easy pasta, which is all fresh ingredients. It's rigatoni with fresh tomatoes, which are sauteed a bit with a little olive oil and garlic and a few other ingredients, and thrown together with fresh mozzarella cheese, and it's really great. It's sort of a great, easy Sunday or Saturday lunch. From there, we'll have a little arugula salad. The arugula salad will have a little mix of pine nuts and cranberries and a few other things. And then my lovely son and husband are making us some homemade vanilla ice cream, and we will serve that with the brownies, which are nice and chewy and fudgy. Max has already started making his ice cream over there, as you can see. And yeah, it's pretty simple. A lot of what we do is, in this kitchen at least, is just easy and simple, and really kind of the same vibe as, I would say, ATM. Pretty easy and simple. You know?
I mean, all that sounds absolutely delicious. I love that you're making Tony's famous rigatoni. But tell me how you decided what you were going to make today. Like, how did you go about building your menu?
You know, I went about building my menu, and again, a lot of times the same ways that I think of what we do for ATM. It was really just trying to make it simple. You know, I know that the pasta is sort of easy, and you stick it in a big bowl, which we have here, and it's easy to serve. It has a lot of nice fresh ingredients. For us, I mean, if you want to look back at ATM has a lot of nice things that sort of are simple and easy in that same sense. And really just no hassle. I want it to be a no hassle meal. We're Miami, Florida, which is where we live. So a lot of times we're at the pool or at the beach, and it's easy to come home. This should take like 20 minutes and it's done from start to end, sorry.
Amazing. That sounds great. So let's get into it. Do you want to start making the pasta?
Yeah. I had prepared a few things for you guys just because I know it's a little easier since we don't have a super amount of time. But I chopped all the tomatoes. So as you can see, I use heirloom tomatoes. So I chopped them all. I like to bring in a range of different color heirloom tomatoes. I chopped them. I put some salt, some olive oil. They've been sitting for about an hour. I also cut up a bunch of mozzarella cheese. So that has also been sitting for about an hour, just sauteing in the salt. I use this salt, which is a great salt, coarse salt, and put a little olive oil. Sometimes for these things, I don't use the best of olive oil, but a nice olive oil. For this particular, I use a decent olive oil. And then when I saute it all, I use a pretty regular olive oil just because it burns off. But they're all extra virgin olive oils. These are a little of the ingredients for the salad. I have the water boiling already for the pasta. I'm going to start simmering the sauce by putting this on. And from there, I'm going to start up. You know, I don't tend to look at what I'm putting in terms of quantities, but I kind of just play it by ear. It's something my mom always did. She used to say she would look at how much she was putting in, but she never really did. Sometimes that was good, sometimes that was bad. So I just throw in a bunch of olive oil. That would be my first thing. I then sprinkle in a little salt. That would be my second thing. You'll start to hear it sizzle. I don't want to put that on because it will make noise, and that's not good for the camera. I do a little pepper. So I'm going to do some fresh pepper, right, Max? Max, fresh pepper. Max is watching. Max is the only one that, you know, can tell me yes or no to everything I do. And if he says no, I have to stop. So is that enough olive oil, Max? Yeah.
It looks like you got enough.
All right, good. Oh, I also use these, which I think are great. They're just strained tomatoes. I throw that in once I have it all simmering, and it gives it a sauce feel, but without a sauce. I tend to like the pasta so it doesn't feel like it's saucy, but it really feels light and fresh, especially here in Florida.
Yes, amazing.
So,
and just a reminder for everyone at home, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions about fashion or food or anything in between, please feel free to drop them in the chat.
Yeah, that would be super. So I'm going to continue here, and Ariel, you just ask and talk and tell me whatever you want to know about whatever, and I'll continue.
Yeah, so you just added garlic.
Yeah, I'm adding some fresh garlic. I did about 3 cloves. Once again, I tend to, you know, depending on the size of the cloves, 3 or 4. These are tiny, so I'm doing 4.
Perfect.
So I'll
It
let
smells
those
delicious.
simmer a bit. The heat is somewhat medium. I mean, it's not high for sure, because once it gets going, I'm going to put a lid on this. So that's it with that. Put in those, keep everything in the thing.
Have you always enjoyed cooking, or is this something you picked up later in life?
You know what? We enjoy cooking. Lance cooks a lot of vegetarian food because he's vegetarian,
Okay.
and sometimes he eats fish though. Yeah. So at some point, you know, if he's not cooking, I like to cook, especially here.
Yeah.
Especially during these times where it just sort of seems kind of easier to cook than to go out.
No one's going out much these days.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Miami, so it's slightly different, but you
A
know.
little bit of a different world down
Everyone
here.
is out Miami these days.
People are going out in Miami,
Yeah.
which I mean, you know, listen, I don't know if good or bad. I'm gonna add the tomatoes. This is sizzling, so I know that it's about the right temperature that I can add certain things. And I don't want to get the garlic browned at this point, so I want to get it just sort of simmered. Oh, thank you so much. And really, this is how simple this is. I'm gonna put these in here. I'm going to leave this here, so I might use them later. I've already added the olive oil. I've added the salt. I'm going to let this simmer. I'm going to look at my thing. It's about a medium height, meaning the flame. This is going to sit there for about 10 minutes before I put in the tomato sauce. I'm going to put a lid on this.
Okay, great. And then we'll get started on the salad while that's
Yeah,
cooking.
that's exactly what we'll do.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I'm going to use arugula. I kind of like arugula.
Oops,
Sorry,
watch
guys.
out.
Sorry, family. I knocked my family over in the. You have to move a little more for 1 second. I'm gonna do 2 bins of arugula just to have it, even if we don't use it all. Did you use the arugula yet today, Lance? Or no. All right, here we go.
Okay.
And I'm big on bowls and plates and wood cutting boards and things like that.
Lots of bowls.
So you're gonna see that. More so than I just think it adds to the whole thing. So the cooking experience as well as the way it all looks. Presentation is everything.
Of course. I mean, your kitchen looks like it could be on the Food Network.
Well, a little messy, but you know, throw it in there.
It works. It works.
Put it in there.
So do you typically cook Italian food at home, or what's your favorite cuisine to cook?
It depends. Like last night, Lance and I had just grilled salmon. And Max, what did you have? Cereal.
No, we did not.
What do you have?
We had chicken tenders and
Chicken tenders. Chicken tenders.
yeah,
All right, Max had chicken
we had
tenders.
pizza rolls.
I mean,
pizza
that
rolls.
sounds
Yeah,
delicious
pizza rolls.
too.
Yeah,
Pizza
pizza
rolls
rolls.
and French fries. It's
So
very-
we will take
very
that.
non-meal.
Again, I'm going to add a little salt and pepper just to the arugula before I put the dressing. I like to put the dressing on last, just because right before dinner or lunch or whatever this meal is, just because it tends to get soggy. I'm going to throw in a little more of this salt.
So you're gonna make the dressing from scratch.
Yeah, I started a little of it, but basically all I did was put a little bit of honey, a little bit of Dijon mustard. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice. And I'm going to add some oil. This one I'm going to do the better oil just because it's the salad and it doesn't burn off. So I'll add a little oil. I'm going to
Tony,
grab
we
my.
have a viewer question for you.
Oh,
Karen
good.
wants to know what kind of salt are you using?
This is great. Malden, Maldon, Malden sea salt flakes. I always love this. It's actually great. They have another one that's smoked. I've never tried it, but this one is the one I tend to use always, and I put it on everything. So if it's a tomato mozzarella salad, I don't use it in the water when I'm cooking the pasta because that's more generic. But when I do the sauce, for instance, for the dressing, I put a little in there. I'll put a little on the salad, which I probably did already, but I'll do it again. Yeah, I do it in the mozzarella while it's just sitting here marinating. I also put it on the tomatoes, so I use it all the time. Bottom line with that question.
Amazing. Michael at home wants to know, what is your favorite kind of pasta? Is it rigatoni?
You know what? Max, my son here, it is spaghetti. And what's your favorite
Is that your
one,
favorite?
Max? Which one do you like? The spaghetti with
You can talk.
butter,
You gotta-
but the other one
What's
is
the spaghetti called?
what's the tomato sauce one? Lady and the Tramp. All right, so Lady and the Tramp is tomato sauce.
Lady in the Tramp pasta or plain. And he mixes it up.
Yeah.
I kind of like plain because it's less dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
But Lady in the Tramp.
So preparing the salad dressing, we can do putting it on. So here it is.
Perfect.
It's basically just a little bowl. I put the mustard, the honey, the oil, the salt, the pepper, just stir it up a little, and a little lemon, and I pretty much just leave it there. And right before we're ready to eat, I just pour it on top. I personally don't like vinegar, so I never use vinegar. The mustard is something I use sometimes. The honey I always use. So that is that. This is ready to go when we're ready for eating. I'm going to add in the pine nuts, and I'm going to add in, I just use some fresh pine nuts. I was just going to ask
you what else is going in the salad. So we have some pine nuts.
Yep, pine nuts, and I use cranberries just for a little seasoning. Cranberries are always nice because they're just sweet and they taste kind of different than raisins, obviously, but they also add a little bit of texture and color. I think it's always nice. Yeah. So when you look at the bowl, it kind of has the whole variety of different greens and the purple from the pine and the pine nut, which is a neutral. The dressing has this beautiful color too. And that's that. I also throw this in. I'll put it in now as well, which is peppered feta cheese. I think it's kind of nice because it adds just a little bit more of the pepper taste. And I always like cheese in my salad. So there you have it.
There's so many amazing flavors in here. I feel like salty, sweet, peppery.
Yeah, it has a lot of different textures and flavors. And another thing that I think is always nice within cooking. Max decided to run over to our dog. Max, come back.
I was just going to ask him what's happening down on his end.
Max on his end, he's playing with our dog. We have a dog that we rescued about 8 months ago. His name is Eli. He's a great little thing. Super, super patient. We'll bring him over. He's actually so cozy because he thinks that everyone's here and he doesn't have to feel like he's worried about anyone. He's always super worried when one of us leaves and he sits at the elevator until we come back.
He's so cute. Hi, buddy.
He's a little rescue doggy.
He's our little rescue. We got him in the Hamptons.
He's our little scavenger.
Oh, he's
Definitely
adorable.
He cleans our floor.
He gets all the leftovers, I'm sure. So another viewer question for you.
Tell me.
Someone wants to know if you draw from inspiration from food for your collections.
Let's see. I mean, for the collections, I think if I was to look at inspiration, it would be just more or less the way, the vibe of what we do. I mean, I think the vibe of ATM has always been so easy. And that's why I say I don't really measure things either. It's kind of like, I'll throw it all together and it works.
Yeah, and go with your gut.
I know even what you're wearing. You could the beauty of ATM, and I know I'm just wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and my husband's wearing one of the shirts, and even Max. The beauty is hopefully that you can throw it all together and it just works. A lot of time it's monochromatic, but even if I know you have a tank top under that, and there are certain things that you just feel like, it's easy to put together. And it's the pant, and they're easy to go with t-shirts, or easy to go with dress shirts. It's very simple. When I cook, the same thing. I think it's really nice to be able to throw it all together, not really think so much, but know that you're going to get a good result because you have sort of fresh, great ingredients.
No, that's amazing. I absolutely love what I have on. It is super comfortable, but it is also very chic. I feel like I've worn a lot of lounge sets over the past couple months, and this is definitely one of my favorites.
Thank you. That's
of course.
Nice to hear. Yeah. I mean, we like to work with natural fabrics too. So same thing in the same, I mean, if you want to look at it, ingredients, all our ingredients that we use for this little meal here are pretty fresh. And I know in Peru, we develop all of our materials from scratch in terms of our cottons. So it kind of has the same vibe, strangely enough.
Yes, you're using the best ingredients in food and fashion.
Yeah, even the kitchen, to be honest, our kitchen's very neutral. It's like a natural wood, it's a white oak, We tend to use those kind of fibers, fabrics, materials. It's a lifestyle, truly is. And this little one, and these two little ones.
Too cute. So Max was working on his ice cream. Can you tell us what went into the ice cream?
Max, go for it. You tell him while I cook.
We had vanilla.
Okay.
So the vanilla ice cream. It's a very simple ice cream.
Simple but delicious. That's okay.
It's an ice cream that actually we kind of made a lot last year, I guess. We were gone for like 7 months up north. So up there, you don't really crave ice cream like in Miami, especially, this time of year. So we haven't really made it for like almost a year. So we're hoping it turns out okay.
Sure. I mean, how could ice cream be bad, right?
It's an ice cream maker, so they're pretty, they're cool. When I was younger, like we had an ice cream maker, but it was like a big wood barrel.
That you stir with your hands.
Well, I think I had a motor, but you had to like add ice to it constantly and add salt on the outside. And I mean, I'm from Iowa, so maybe that's just. That was also like,
No, this thing is
that was also
great.
like 30 years ago.
It's like,
So this thing is like awesome. So yeah, we just cover the ingredients in there. It's a very simple recipe. We don't do anything with the egg or the simmering. I don't know how that's not works. But this is basically just heavy cream, 1 cup of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream, a 1/3 cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Mix it together and put it in the ice cream maker, and hopefully it turns out good.
yeah, it's usually great. And you can eat it right away.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
That's amazing. You don't have to like freeze it or anything
You don't
after.
have
It
to-
just comes out
yeah,
ready
So
to
we're-
go.
You can freeze it a little harder if you want to, but you don't have to like. I see what people online is like, you have to have age, and you have to simmer. And
Oh,
That
let me get
sounds
this straight
complicated.
out.
This sounds nice and
yeah, we
easy.
like more simple things here.
Well, how long are you gonna cook these tomatoes for?
You know, I'm just gonna, once again, I don't have a kind of set
You just
time on this.
kinda
I
see
look
that
at
they're
them, I
ready?
see that they're simmering. I see when they start to fall apart a bit, and that's
Mhm.
when I add the sauce, and then I really simmer it. And almost
it.
to the point where I put it on a temperature that's at 0.
Okay, so they're just simmering for now.
Yeah, and
You'll
I'm gonna
add the
add the
sauce?
paste, which really,
Perfect.
again, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't add tons. I just add kind of a drizzle
Just a
all
drop.
around.
It's more about the tomatoes than the.
Yeah, I think the
sauce.
paste just gives it a little more texture. And I think these little stewed tomatoes or strained tomatoes are great, by the way. A great way to kind of make a tomato sauce where it doesn't seem so tomatoey. So that's all
It's almost done.
simmering.
Okay.
The pasta is going to, well, the water's not boiling yet, but it's on high, so it should
Almost
boil
there.
soon. This will take about 7 minutes. If anyone wants a breadstick while they're waiting.
I'm okay,
mac and
thanks.
breadstick,
We have another viewer question for you.
Hmm.
So someone wants to know, what restaurant are you dying to go back to in New York when you return?
All right, let's think.
I mean, I'm not in New York much anymore, but one of my classics that's always an amazing meal and a fun time is Indochine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
And, yeah, and Mr. Chow's always fun.
Yeah.
What are your favorites?
I mean, I have to say, yeah, there's certain restaurants that, I mean, if we cook Italian, I don't always crave to go back to Italian. So Indochine's a good one.
Mhm.
I didn't think of that. All of them have been delivering.
Yeah,
So-
that's been an amazing.
And then the other thing is in Miami,
Mhm.
everything is open.
Yeah. And
So
it's
we
easy
have
to
a
eat
Mr.
outside
Chow,
there.
we have all the Italian restaurants. We don't have an Indochine.
Yeah, just Indochine-like experience and the vibe.
Yeah. It's a cool setting, for
Roasting
sure.
and flowers. It never gets.
I think it's done.
Absolutely. Oh, you're finished with your ice cream?
Really?
Good, little
Yeah.
more.
All right. My water's boiling, so I am going to throw this pasta in. It's about 1.5 pounds if you're thinking, about 1.5 pounds if you're thinking to feed about 4 to 5 people.
Okay.
So this whole preparation is for about 4 to 5 people. And usually we'll have a bit of a leftover, right?
Perfect.
So
Okay, so pasta's going in. How long do you put the pasta in for? Do you do like a classic al dente or?
I mean, we're, with Max especially, he doesn't love it so al dente, but we definitely don't overcook it. So again, I don't have a time,
You just-
seems like we wing it for everything. But I'll take one out and I'll feel it, I'll taste it, and I'll know that it's not hard enough. It's not too soft and it's not too hard.
Perfect.
So that's how we kind of figure that one out,
So
right?
someone at home wants to know if you guys can share the brand of your amazing ice cream maker.
Oh, really? It's not, I mean, it's not amazing. I mean, it's amazing, it's easy. But it's
Where
not
do we
amazing.
get it?
Like Amazon. It's us. I'll spell it for you. It's AUCMA. I have no idea what it's called.
AUCN.
M.
AUCMA. Excuse me, I'm having a little bit of a
And
drink.
I just found it on Amazon.
Why
and
not, right?
It was very inexpensive, I believe. I just got it because it was easy and I didn't want to get it advanced.
It's really great.
So it's probably like $30, honestly.
That's amazing.
But it's yeah, and it's good for him to play with, so
But it's always such a great thing to also, like, the end of the dinner or whatever, you sort of, he either makes it pre-dinner or he makes it right, after dinner, and it's such a quick, it doesn't have to
So-
sit in the freezer for 10 hours or whatever,
Yeah.
because the jar that's in there has already been frozen.
Yeah. And what's cool is this, you could once you start making it more, which we'll now that we're back in Miami, you could add cookie dough to it, add like
Yeah, you can make it
brownies
any
to it,
flavor.
add peanut butter to it, add caramel to it, just play with it.
No, that sounds amazing. I mean, how often do you get to have homemade ice cream? I guess you guys do a lot, but yeah. No, it sounds delicious. So a lot of viewer questions today. We have another one for you guys.
Oh, we have a question.
Danielle wants to know how old you were when you learned to cook.
How old was I when I learned to cook? Well, let's see. I would say I started cooking more when I was in New York, which I moved to New York when I was 19. And it was kind of odd, actually. I used to go every day. I used to pass this seafood place, this like little seafood, not a restaurant, a little seafood shop, and they had soft. It was in June when I moved to New York, and they used to have what I never even heard of, but they had soft shell crabs in the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to actually leave work. I used to work for a company called Willyware, which was Willie Smith died many years ago, but it was where I did an internship when I first moved to New York. I'd go to this little fish place, I'd buy soft shell crabs, I'd come home and cook them like 3 times a week. So I would say about 19, I started to learn how to do things. And it was pretty much just off the cuff.
It was all self-taught.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's like, New York, 19, I didn't really know anyone. I had to eat, and it just seemed like, oh, this sounds cool. Let me stop in here, and I'll buy these things that I never saw before in my life. And
just try it out.
Yeah, and actually to this day, I always sort of love cooking my own soft shell crabs whenever they're in season. So I would say 19 to that question.
That's amazing. Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to start spending more time in the kitchen?
Let's see. 2 things. One, Lance is great at recipes, which he prepares, and he gets these different meals sent to the house. Not meals, but these
ingredients.
Yeah, and you have to prep them, but it takes him about an hour. And he's really great, and the presentation's amazing, and it's fully like thought out and prepared with X amount. So that's his way of doing it. My way of doing it is really, let's just try things. I'm very experimental in that sense, so we're totally opposite, actually.
That's why we work together.
And so, I mean, my advice is just sort of don't be afraid to try things.
Yeah, no, that's great advice.
I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Exactly. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, it's horrible. My mom used to make this cheesecake, and she used to think it would be amazing, and it was always the same. She'd figure out how to make this cheesecake and not have the egg cook. So when we cut it open, there'd be like a whole egg in the middle.
Like a raw egg?
Yeah, the raw egg. And we'd be like, Mom, you really can't cook dessert. She was amazing with Italian food, but she was really not good with dessert.
Not good with dessert.
That was one of the weirdest things, right? So we've never tried making cheesecake with eggs, but she was very experimental with her food.
I guess that's where you got it from, right?
She didn't care. She served us cheesecake with egg.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't get sick.
Oh, yeah. She was something. Even to this day, though, when Max has spaghetti, we always sort of make sure that he twirls the spaghetti, and he knows that, it's Grandma Fran always used to make these great Italian dishes, and she's no longer with us, but she was always, she's definitely an inspiration in terms of my Italian cooking.
Of course. That's so nice. So how much time do you guys have left on the ice cream?
I mean, it says 2 minutes, so you just kind of,
Okay.
when it looks right, you just sort of go for it.
And the pasta, we're going to let cook a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we have a little more time. This is simmering, which is the sauce. I'm going to drain the pasta, throw everything back into this pot after I strain the pasta.
Okay.
Mix it all together. Then I wind up putting the cheese on, because otherwise it will just melt and become a big thing of glue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I throw it into this big platter right here, which is pretty. And it's a family style, help yourself.
Amazing. Can't wait to see how it all comes out. So I don't want us to run out of time. So
are we running?
A little bit, but I just want us to switch gears and talk about the other thing that is both near and dear to our hearts, which is fashion. So we spoke a little bit about my outfit earlier, but I would love it if you could give everyone at home some tips and tricks, how to style your spring line. What are your favorite things on the line for spring?
Great. Yeah, I mean, there are certainly great pieces from the collection this season. You, of course, are wearing a great little sweatsuit outfit. Lance is wearing one of our dip dye T-shirts, which I love, and one of my favorite yarns, which is the slub jersey.
Mine too.
And mine too. It's says.
I
I'm
feel like
wearing
that's
one of
what
my
you're
favorite
known for.
colors, which is pale pink. We have quite a few things. There's a great little one thing that I love, which is this poncho, I guess you call it, but it's made out of French terry. It's got the raw trim. I call it raw trim, but it's it looks frayed on the bottom. It's very cozy, very bohemian. There's the sweatpant, there's an off-the-shoulder sweatshirt, and there's the poncho, all in that same French terry. We like to combine things. So for instance, if we're doing that French terry poncho, we might do it with a silk sweatpant, just to make the high-low of the outfit. I always think that's sort of nice to have like the look.
Our ice cream is
ATM is never, great Max, ATM is never about having pieces that feel either too precious or too, grungy. So that's why I like to make sure that if we're using French terry, we do some great treatment on it. If we're using silks, we do some great treatments. There's a silk outfit, which I love. There's a little bias cut skirt, and we throw on a hoodie. I know that's part of the buy, and I think that's actually great too. It's not shown here right now on the screen, but that's a great piece. Right now on the screen, we're looking at the off-the-shoulder and the sweatpants, which I love.
I love this look too. I feel like the off-the-shoulder makes the sweatshirt like a lot cooler, more elevated, and at the same time, it's just a sweatshirt. So it's a great piece to lounge around in, but you can also leave your house in it, which is really nice.
Right. And the monochromatic looks tend to do that too. They actually look more put together.
Totally.
And easy to wear. And also, like you just said, they can be worn to, do grocery shopping. They can also be worn to go to lunch.
Absolutely. And I know something else you do a lot is you incorporate a lot of tie-dye into your line, which is very relevant for spring because that is a big trend for us.
Great. Yeah. We love the tie-dye. Like I said, well, we call certain things tie-dye, which is what Max is wearing.
Right.
And like Lance is wearing a dip tie, all in the same family. And I think those things are important.
Totally. And I think what's super cool about your line this spring is you did some of it in silk as well.
Yeah, like even on the screen now, I know we have the silk sweatpants, which is a silk jogger. I wouldn't call it a sweatpants, but a jogger. And in the sense that it is formatted from a jogger silhouette, but it's in silk and it's in a print. And I think it just gives a little attitude to the silhouette, meaning by doing it in the silk. We threw it with the poncho, which I talked about earlier, and it gives you that high-low effect again.
I love the poncho. I've been watching Fashion Month over the last couple of weeks, and there have been tons of ponchos on the runway, so I feel like everyone needs one.
They're just easy. A poncho is sort of like something you throw on, and you don't kind of have to, it's easy to take off, it's easy to put on, you put it over your head if you're cold at night. I know even here in Florida, to be honest, I mean, in Miami, you go to these restaurants or you go sit outside and you want something, either wrap around you or throw on top of your look.
Totally. Florida's tricky because I feel like it's warm here, but I'm always freezing. So I'm always in a sweatshirt or a poncho or something.
Same here. This is you want to talk about this?
Sure. This is what we were talking about earlier.
This. Yeah, and sorry I went out of order, but this now goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's a bias cut skirt, which is in a dip dye. We show it with the matching silk little t-shirt, and we then throw on the sweatshirt, which is in French terry, and it has the same dip effect. All three pieces kind of work together or separately. I think the nice thing is, once again, you can work them all together or separately, and you have three different looks, three different outfits. It's very versatile, and also the neutral tones are very sort of pleasant and soft and easy to look at.
Amazing. So what about for men? Like, what are your favorite items on your line for spring for men?
For men, I mean, I'm loving a lot of this safari color, I guess you'd call it, with a pop of tomato. As you see on the screen now, we're doing this, which is a slub t-shirt. Basically the same short sleeve style that I'm wearing, short sleeve crew, but in the slub fabric, which is what Lance is wearing. And the shorts are actually the style of, it's a French terry and the hoodie. Men's is very easy for us in the sense that it's stuff that guys want, guys wear, guys buying commodity. You know what I mean? Like different from women, guys will buy that t-shirt as the pop color, but then they'll buy 10 white ones or 10 black ones because they love the fit. So we tend to perfect the fit in men's, and then we just modify it through the seasons with either the color or the print or the wash, and just make them a little different that way, but keep the fit the way they are, so guys come back to that and not have to feel like, oh, where did that sweatpant go? Where did that short go?
Right. So they're basically just updating the same classic pieces in
Yeah,
their wardrobe, which makes it
exactly.
super easy.
Super easy. And that's how guys shop, you know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
strain the pasta, sorry
Okay,
guys,
perfect.
just because I don't know where we are in terms of time.
There's some ice cream in the pasta strainer.
I don't worry, guys.
That's all right. Actually, it's fine. Thank you. Yeah, but like I said, men's is a very simple kind of, you know, I don't say simple in the sense that it's simple to do men's all the time, but I think a male customer is a lot less, you know, he's not looking for
Trends.
so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're happy with something, they want to come back to that something.
Mhm.
And we try and just continue to give them that without having a change, so they don't feel like they've been gypped. Oh, what happened to that thing? Like I said.
Right, right.
There's something that Lance is actually wearing now, which is the slub jersey in the dip dye. Dip dye effect just gives you this across the shoulder, and it goes past the back as well. The shorts, which are the PK shorts, have been a great success at Bloomingdale's, I think, as well for men. We do them in the shorts and we do them in the sweatpants. The contrasting cord just kind of gives a little more detail. I'm wearing the black ones. Lance is wearing this color, which I'm thinking is more of a taupe mushroom color. I'm not sure the exact word of it. But yeah, they're simple and easy.
Yeah, they're both look amazing on you and they look super comfortable.
Thank you. I'm going to throw now, as I said, I was going to put everything together.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, and you give me a time, just tell me how much time we have, by the way.
I think just a few minutes left.
All right, cool. So I'm almost done. I'm going to pull Max's brownies out of the oven in a minute, too, because he made brownies.
Oh, I didn't know you were making brownies.
So what I'm going to do is I took the sauce from the pan that was simmering. I
Okay.
threw it all in the pot that the water was boiling in. I strained the pasta.
Great.
Now I'm going to take the pasta and stir it all together with that sauce. That's not necessarily, it doesn't have to sit, but I'm going to stir it really well. So the sauce gets all over the pasta, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that well, but it is spreading itself around. I'm going to add a few more ingredients to this in a second.
So you're gonna add the cheese.
Yes, I'm going to add the cheese. I try and wait as long as possible with the cheese just because I don't like to get it clumpy. But I am going to do that now because I'm going to take it out of this bowl very shortly. So there you have it. I've added the cheese. I'm going to show you guys what this all looks like. So if you get a look, there's lots of cheese. There's no
Lots of
red
cheese.
sauce, but there's great sort of tomatoes, fresh tomatoes in there. I'm going to throw it in this bowl, and then I'm going to finish garnishing it.
Oh, wow. It's like a nice light coating of tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a light coating of tomatoes. So, I mean, for me, I think, you know, then what I do is also have a few more things here. I add the fresh Parmesan cheese on top. Since we have quite a bit, I'm going to do probably 4 to 5 helpings or handfuls, so to speak. And then I take a little bit of basil from my little basil over here, and I throw that on top.
Amazing.
It adds a little color. It also adds a really beautiful smell.
It smells amazing for those of you watching at home.
Well, I hope everyone at home gets to figure this one out. It's really simple.
Yeah. I can't believe how easy this was, and it looks delicious.
So what we have here now too, I'm going to take this little sauce that I made for the dressing, stir it up very quickly, throw it on my salad just like that. Once again,
Amazing. So you
use
mix
this
this.
beautiful black bowl. Great homeware by Calvin Klein, actually. They've always done such good homeware. This is a salad bowl with 2 salad
The
servers.
salad looks gorgeous.
So then you have your little salad. I'll sprinkle a little more cheese on the top just for the core.
Perfect.
A little more of the cranberries and pine nuts. There you have your salad.
Gorgeous.
Pretty. You have your pasta. I'm going to show you guys just slightly what that looks like in the big plate.
That's
Great
good.
bowl.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Then I'll throw these breadsticks over here just because it's Italian. Max has made us this amazing
Your ice
brownie.
cream. Oh, you have brownies too.
And ice cream. These are the brownies that Max made earlier today. And can I show them the ice cream?
Much in there. Go.
Let's show them the ice
Scoop
cream.
it up. There you go. There's ice cream.
There's an amazing
Yay.
vanilla ice cream that Max has made.
I'm on the cake.
We're gonna put it in the bowl, and then we're gonna have that after lunch,
Let's do that.
because that's dessert.
Let's keep it in here.
But we'll keep it in there. So that's kind of our whole meal there.
Yeah.
This is super duper good. I mean, Max, if you can see it, I don't know if you can, I'm sure you can. It's really great. It tastes, I can
No, it
actually
looks
smell
delicious, and I feel like with the brownie, that'll be amazing together.
And we got a little rosé, and there you go. We're
That's
ready to
it.
go for our Saturday afternoon lunch.
Look at Eli.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but it has been so nice hanging out with you.
Thank you.
And to all our
Coming.
viewers at home, thank you so much for tuning in.
Hope you
Have
all
a great
enjoyed
weekend.
it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great
Thank you.
Saturday.